where would the people offering support?
Are you getting money in, or do you need some emergency funds?
I just try to ask for universal credit.
It's hard to keep safe or isolated.
So it's really weird in Manchester because there's the odd car, but it's mostly just clear. The only people that are left here, it feels like, are the homeless, and this charity is looking after them.
So thank you so much for all coming in today as volunteers, because our organisation is pretty much shut down because we can't do the services we were doing before.
This is the Mustard Tree. In the last fortnight, they've had to reinvent what they do. They've stopped offering training and the cafe has shut. Now it's about helping the homeless and the vulnerable trapped in isolation.
I think it was much more than 1.5 million that are vulnerable. I would suggest people that have no money are vulnerable. I would suggest people that are living in awful accommodation are really vulnerable. We've got our 2 big orders coming in at 4 o'clock from the council and northwards, so we're geared up for that, boys.
George is one of the drivers delivering food and essentials.
Generally, people are really happy to see us when we're dropping these off, but we're also seeing some, real people who are just down and desperate and don't know what else to do, which is hard.
The first person George delivers to is Jason, who until recently was living on the streets. He's now been taken in by a friend.
The homeless people are scared enough when it's normal. And mine when there's a virus about, you used to be able to go for something to eat, but the food banks have been shut. The people used to come around with trolleys at night teams, and they give out clothing and food. They can't come out because they're not allowed. They're not classed as essential key workers, but they're doing a key service of feeding people. The only people that are out about in Manchester is the key workers, not just the nurses and that. The ones that take the low-paid jobs, like the cleaners and stuff. And then they're the ones that are out, and they're the ones that are giving money, and they can't really afford it.
George's next stop is at the top of this tower block.
Hello, it's the Mustard Tree.
Yeah.
There you go, sir.
My vision completely gone. Can't see nothing at all, totally blind. Yeah, it's frightening for a blind person to go out. And I can't go out anywhere.
A food bank in East Manchester, run by the charity The Mustard Tree. Before the coronavirus pandemic, they were helping about 4,000 local people a year. That figure is now 1,000 a week.
What's surprising us is the increasing number of people that are coming in that have never used Mustard Tree or a food club or a food bank before, and that's really surprised us.
Supplying food and clothes at their 3 centres in Greater Manchester costs about £8,000 a week. The money was running out. That's when Manchester United's foundation stepped in.
We work in some of Greater Manchester's most socially challenged areas. So when crisis hit, we knew that there were going to be issues for a lot of our children and families, mainly around food. So we decided to work quickly with agencies like the Mustard Tree that could get to the most vulnerable the quickest.
All told, the foundation has donated about £1 million to initiatives connected to the pandemic.
The charity here is supporting lots of families, many of whom were in a very difficult situation before the outbreak of the coronavirus pandemic, but now are finding it even more difficult to make ends meet.
The Popper family live in North Manchester.
Without this help, was very hard, to prepare every morning a breakfast for my son and for me. Thank you very much for their support, and in this case we could stay at home safe and healthy.
And with an increasing number of families relying on the 2 boxes of food a week they're given, that support has never been more important. Richard Askham, BBC North West Tonight.